Hello, it's been a while, but I'm just on my way out to brunch with a friend from class. We're going to Union Market. I'm not exactly sure where we're gonna go eat, but I think we're just gonna walk around and see what catches our eye. And then afterwards, I think we are gonna go to the Library of Congress to do some studying because we heard that's a really good place to do some work and just see what's there. Okay, so I thought we could take a break and bake some muffins while we catch up on how the first couple of weeks of school has been. I think I'm going to be making blueberry buttermilk muffins today. I'm just using a mix, and then I've got butter, 2 eggs, and then I've got milk in the fridge. Let's see. I've already preheated the oven, so I think I'm just gonna grease my pan with butter and then use that because I don't have any muffin cups. So let's see, how has DC been? I think it's been good for the most part. I will say the one pro is I really like school, which is good because that's the whole reason I came here. But I have been having so many apartment problems. Basically every major appliance in this apartment is broken or needs repair. And so that's been really frustrating, especially because it's almost been a month now and I just got a washing machine. Then this past week, my hot water has been running out. So it's been really frustrating. I've already cried about it like 3 times. But I think other than that, DC has been good. I think the hardest part has just been being alone. I think, Boston was a really big move for me from home, and I never thought I would have to move again by myself. But here I am, exploring a new city all by myself, and it's like, oh, I didn't expect to have to find a new community of people and figure out where everything is, work out where the supermarket is. So in that sense, it's been kind of hard, but I think in having to do that, I've also realized just how much I've grown up. I think when I first got to Boston, I was really scared of being alone and really scared of doing things alone or just going to the supermarket alone. I was really scared of that, even though the supermarket was just in front of my house. But now I'm like, why am I so scared to go to the supermarket alone? Like, I can just go to the supermarket. So it's not been too bad. It is definitely lonely to come home and see that no one's there and you've got no one to talk to, but I've got a bunch of people visiting in the next couple of weeks, so shouldn't be too bad. Have I explored DC? I've gone to the Natural History Museum, which you saw last. I've also gone to National Mall. I've gone to Eastern Market, but it was during the week, so there wasn't a lot of vendors out. Apparently during the weekend, they have lots of vendors who have stalls. You can buy lots of fresh fruit and veg and stuff like that. And then while I was in the Eastern Market region, we also went to a bookstore, and I thought it was really cute that they had all these signs all over the store. They were really funny, actually. I really liked some of them. I didn't end up getting a book, but maybe next time. And then yesterday I went to Union Market, and then the Library of Congress, which was really pretty, but also such a hassle because you had to go through security and then you had to go up to get a library card before you could get let into the reading room. And then you couldn't bring a bag into the reading room, but we didn't know that. So we had to go back down and drop all of our bags off and then come back up. So it was like, it probably took an hour just to get a library card, or maybe that's an exaggeration, maybe like 30 minutes, but it felt like a really long time. How's school? Well, like I said, I really like it. I think I made a couple of friends in my class and we've hung out outside of school, so that's been kind of fun, and like exploring DC. And yeah, I don't know, I just really like it. Oh, what classes I'm taking? So this semester I have to retake common law, which, if you remember, was the subject I hated the most, but I think that's okay because they still credited my past common law subject as common law 2. I just have to retake common law 1, which whatever, it's fine. And then I'm taking administrative law, which is all about how agencies in the government are organized and like the greater picture of the government as a structure. And then I'm taking copyright, which I'm really excited about because I want to do IP, or like intellectual property. And then I'm also taking information privacy, which has been really interesting. I'm not entirely sure if I should be buttering the tin in this way, but I feel like it's the most efficient, so this is what I'm gonna do. Oh, how's moving in? I'm not entirely done moving in yet. There are a couple bits and pieces still lying around that I have to find a home for. But for the most part, I want to say I'm like 90% done with move-in. Did I end up getting a couch? I did end up getting a couch because I figured I have all this living room space and I need somewhere else to lie down other than my bed during the day. Recently, I've just been lying on the floor, which has been kind of sad. So I did get a couch, but it's not coming until late October. So I'll show you most of the apartment and the couch once it arrives. How's living alone for the first time? Well, I think it's been kind of nice because I get to decide where everything goes and what's happening and all that stuff, but it's also been really lonely because, you know, you come home, there's no one else, there's no one to talk to. So in that sense, it's been kind of different. I think the first night that I was here by myself, I was really freaked out. I shut the door to my bedroom and just was like, oh my gosh, I hope no one comes in. And of course I locked the door and everything, but irrational fears, you know. I generally like to cut my butter up in little pieces so that when I mix it with the hand mixer, it won't be as big of a chunk that has to get dissolved. Let's see, differences between Boston and DC. I feel like I haven't been here long enough to really know. It's kind of got a similar vibe, but I think, you know, Boston is obviously a smaller city. It's really only 2 miles across the whole city, so it's very walkable. You can walk the whole thing in an hour. I feel like everything's pretty accessible. There's a good amount of public transport. Most of the major stops in the city are accessible by public transport and or walking. Whereas I feel like in DC, it's definitely a bigger city, significantly more walking. I also feel like while everyone says the metro is better because it runs faster, it's cleaner and all these things, I get really sick. Like, I get really motion sick on the train, so it's not my favorite way to get around. And there are only limited stops on the metro. Like, all of the routes go in the same direction. Like, they hit the same stops and only diverge once they get out of the actual city. But I'm not getting out of the city, I'm in the city, so it's kind of hard to hit some areas in the city because the train doesn't get there. And then the bus is unreliable, so I don't know. Everyone's been hyping up the public transport and I'm like, it's not that great to me, but I haven't been here that long, so I guess we'll see. I'm just gonna put a little more butter because I used some of the butter to grease the pan. I'm gonna mix this in the sink so that if it does create a mess, it'll be easy to clean up. I've mixed it, I put the eggs, I put the milk, and now I'm going to transfer it to the tin. See, the thing I hate about baking is I hate getting my hands dirty, so I'm just gonna do this and then scrape it with a knife. Oh, actually, I have a spatula. What book are you reading? I am currently reading The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, and she used to be a lawyer turned author, but it's about this family who moves to Alaska because they want to be away from like civilization and everything, and it's told from the daughter's point of view, so I thought that it would be kind of lonely to read it, especially because I am alone, but it's been kind of nice just knowing that actually I could be even more alone because these people are literally in the wilderness in Alaska having to build their own house and everything with no electricity and no internet. So all things considered, being alone in DC is really not that bad. I kind of feel like these muffin tins are really small, or this batter is just, I'm gonna have way too much batter. Okay, let's try one of these cupcakes. It's not bad. I wish I had fresh blueberries in there, but it's pretty good. I think that's all for me today. I will see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Love you. Bye. Mwah.